Welcome to the Flamingo. Now, to be honest with you, those were words that I didn't think I'd be uttering on this channel. Also, that candy was cherry and it was absolutely disgusting. We are here at the Neapolitan Suite in the Flamingo. Now, it's been probably over 10 years since I've stayed at the Flamingo, and I've never featured the Flamingo on this channel. I do have some mixed feelings about being here. We will get into all that stuff later. For now, let's show you guys this Neapolitan Suite. Now, as you first walk in, pretty impressive. You do have two bathrooms. So this is the first bathroom in here. Very pink, very bright. It is nice. You've got this sort of sliding stained glass door here. This is just sort of like a half bath or an ensuite, or whatever you want to call it, where you just basically have a toilet, a sink, mirror, no shower, no bath, anything like that, but it's still good to have. The wallpaper is very bright. There's a lot of wear and tear in this room though, which is one of the first things I noticed. I mean, there's marks everywhere. The ceiling looks like it's, I don't know if that's water damage or mold or something. It's very, very unappealing though, to be honest with you, but let's continue. There is a mini fridge. So I am happy to report there is a mini fridge. So, you know, if you got any leftovers, you got some, you know, drinks or things to keep cool, it is, at least it's in there. It's kind of in a funny spot. I don't know if maybe I would have preferred it at least at sort of reachable level, because the fact that it's on here, on this carpet, it does kind of drag a little bit. Even that though, there's a lot of marks on there. It's very banged up. That's sort of a theme ongoing throughout this room. I do love this lamp. I believe it's a Jonathan Adler lamp. One of my favorite, you know, home sort of designers. I've got a few pieces of his in my place as well. I do really like his stuff. Very neat. It does obviously go with the theme. I do like this sort of, I don't know if it's Carrera or whatever kind of like marble look. Again, a lot of wear and tear. I can see a lot of marks on here. I can see, you know, where, you know, half of a lime was left and it's maybe from the acid or something like that. It's left a mark. There's a lot of marks. This TV is almost comical on this wall. It is a very, very big wall with what looks like maybe a 40-something, 30-something inch TV. You know, when you're in a family room environment, that TV should be much bigger. It is nice to have a little workspace here though. You do have like a sort of like a desk with some drawers, a little bit of extra storage. It's kind of a strange kind of area, but you know, you could find use for it for sure. A bar, a work area, whatever. You got some chairs, etc. There are some cups as well. There's some ice bucket. Ice bucket's got some weight to it. It does look a little bit newer. Maybe. Coffee machine, which I'm actually very surprised that they included a coffee machine, because a lot of the properties, you know, Caesar's properties in particular, and properties in Vegas in general, don't have that. So I'm actually quite impressed that is there. Again, not one of my favorite styles. It's one of these sort of like things that you kind of put in there like that. Me personally, I prefer like a Keurig or like a Tassimo, or, you know, an espresso, something that has those pods. It's just a lot easier to just deal with that, throw those out. That's my personal preference, but at least you got something. I will get in the view momentarily. Let's continue on with, you know, the space here that you've got. Now you do have this couch here, which does pull out. So it's sort of nice if you have guests staying with you. You could easily, comfortably sleep 4 guests in here, 2 on the pull-out couch, 2 in the bedroom area as well. So that is nice. We will talk about the view just because there is, you know, a bit of a different view being in here. It is nice. You can see the Bellagio. We're a little bit lower. Flamingo is a smaller hotel, right? It's a little bit shorter. You're not going to get the same kind of views that you're going to get from somewhere like the Cosmopolitan, for example. So there's a good chance that once the fountains do start going and they are high enough, that we will hopefully see something. So look, you know, fingers crossed for that. I got a pretty good view of the Cosmopolitan though, of Horseshoe, Paris, etc. You're looking down pretty much the south end of the strip. Let's continue. This is something that I personally really do like. If the Flamingo has one thing going for it, it's its history, it's its, you know, the vibe. The people really love that, the whole, you know, mafia ties, things like that. I do love that they do showcase their old school style in, you know, situations like this where they've got this black and white picture with the pink highlighted. That's something that I think that the Flamingo does really, really well. There is a full length, so if you do want to, you know, check yourself before you wreck yourself downstairs, handy to have that as well, so I really do love that. Thermostats in both the living room and the bedroom, I will mention. And from when we got in here, it was kept nice and cool, so when you are on the strip all day in that heat, or, you know, you're maybe a little bit cold if you're here in a colder month, it is nice to have those controls in both rooms. So, you know, if you have guests sleeping in here or you're in the bedroom, that is nice. Follow me to the bedroom. Now, you've got a king size bed here, but I don't know if it's me, it almost looks like a queen. It looks pretty small for a king size bed. Now, Maybe it's just because of the space of the room. I don't know. This headboard too, it looks like it should be in like an adult film or something. This sort of like patent white leather. I don't know. Again, nicks and bangs and stuff all over the place. This, you know, these side tables here look like they've been through hell and back. I mean, what else is there to say? The TV here fits the space a little bit better. Again, you know, lots of marks, lots of, you know, areas on the wallpaper, on, yeah, just everywhere. It's not even worth pointing out anymore because it's just everywhere. I guess, you know, they included a little chair and table here for whatever reason. I don't know what you're really gonna use that for, but it's here. Again, the view, very similar to what we just saw. We are on more or less the corner, so we are facing the south end of the strip. So, you know, again, we're seeing Horseshoe, we're seeing Cosmo, we're seeing Bellagio, etc. The second, actually, let's get to the closet first. It's a decently spacious closet. You got the safe in there. We've got 2 suitcases in there comfortably. There's 5 coat hangers, so we will be fighting over that later because there's only 5 coat hangers and that's a bit silly, but there is the ironing board, luggage cart, you know, all the stuff you need, and the safe, of course. So if you are winning some money, you got the safe. Now, as I said, second bathroom, once again, sliding frosted door, which is a bit of a space saver. It always is nice to have that as well. There's a decent amount of privacy with that as well. There is a lot of pink. So if you like pink, you're maybe here, you know, on a girls' weekend or something like that, and you want to have that, you know, girly pinky room, there's a lot of pink in here. You got the pink wall, pink tissue box, pink trash can. There's a lot of pink. Stand-up shower, which is always nice. Again, you got these sort of accents of the marble, which does give it a little bit of kind of a step up, but yeah. An okay, I'd say average size tub as well. Like, I'm probably not going to be using that personally. And yeah, not really much else to mention about this room. There's the Jose Ibert toiletries like you see in a lot of Caesar's properties. So they've got those. So, I mean, if you've stayed in the Caesar's property before, you probably experienced those before as well. There is a TV in the mirror, but I see no signs on how you turn that on. There's no remote. It's not a touch screen, you know, not something you can connect to. I thought maybe you connect your phone to it or something like that. But yeah, it's dated technology for sure. So maybe at one point this was sort of like nice, but yeah, it's definitely dated. Okay, sorry, I had to do a little switcheroo there because I was backlit and it looked a mess. Anyway, first impressions of the room after doing that little tour. I'm gonna keep it real with you because I feel like you guys expect that from me. You guys, you know, if you've been on my channel before, you know, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. You know how I kind of like to tell it like it is. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. We booked a different room and actually we're kind of talked into an upgrade. Actually, first, let me just quickly touch on the check-in experience. So check-in experience, we got there 15 minutes before their official check-in time apparently, and they wanted to charge us $10 just because we were 15 minutes early. So like I was ready to go back in the lineup, and Cody said, no, let's just check in. But anyway, they did waive it eventually because we took so long to pick the room. We kind of got talked into this upgrade. As I said, this is the Neapolitan Suite. We were in a mini suite before and somehow got talked into this, paid an extra $45, I think, a night for this base on top of what we were already paying in the other room. You guys, this room's a disaster. Like, the couch I can see is just, it looks a mess. It looks like it's been there for God knows how long. It looks like it's from, you know, your grandmother's house. You know, there's wear and tear everywhere. Every drawer is, you know, chipped or stained or missing things. The fridge is all dented. Table I'm looking at right now is all screwed up. Pretty much everywhere you look, you can find fault. Now, again, we are at the Flamingo. This is going to be one of your more budget-friendly, I guess, type rooms or hotels on the strip. So, I mean, to compare in a really bad comparison, the last time we were in Vegas, we were, you know, at the Cosmopolitan, for example. So you really can't compare. So, you know, you really can't. This is definitely your more budget friendly. There's a lot of things that this room has going for it. It is spacious. I like that there's 2 bathrooms. I like that there is a pull out couch, even though no one's gonna be sleeping there. You know, it's fun, it's bright. There's lots of, you know, pinks and flamingo stuff. So, you know, you are at the Flamingo and you definitely know you're at the Flamingo. And I do like that about that. I like the fact that you can open the sheers, you know, and the blinds, and sorry, the curtains, with some buttons. I think that's really convenient as well. But otherwise, it's lacking a lot in technology. I remember when these rooms, it's got to have been about 10 years ago when these rooms came out, and at the time, they were kind of funky, they were kind of fresh thing for the Flamingo. They've definitely seen better days though, and you can see that. And I'm kind of upset with myself for not booking one of the newer rooms. I think the new rooms are called the Flamingo rooms. Yeah, I really wish I'd just book one of those, to be honest with you, because this is not the ticket. Even technology-wise, there is not one USB plug in this entire room, for people who want to charge their phones, things like that. Not one, which is surprising. You think that they'd somehow manage to incorporate that into a lamp or something. But yeah, not one. So hopefully you guys bring your charging blocks if you are staying here, because that's how you're gonna be charging your phones. Now, this video itself is just going to act as a room tour, and then at the very end, I will give you my final thoughts of our entire stay at the Flamingo. Any other experiences, I will sprinkle in some other experiences throughout the video, like the pool, if we go to any of the restaurants, or how the casino was, and the shows, things like that. But there probably will be separate videos that talk about those in more, thorough, explanations and whatnot. So this is just going to be basically, a room tour, impressions, and then my final thoughts at the end of our stay. So definitely make sure you do stay to the very end of the video, and I will, let you know, some more tidbits about, what happened here. Yeah, but I gotta say, so far, not impressed. Just overall, there's gonna be people in the comments that are gonna tell me I'm being picky or this or that, but you just know when you walk into a room if you feel comfortable, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't. And that's just, even the Wi-Fi, I could not connect to the Wi-Fi. I had to call so they would turn the Wi-Fi on. Like, what? We are in a great location though, center strip, right across the street from Caesars, sort of kitty corner to Bellagio. So there's things going for it. So, I'm gonna try to keep an open mind, because I was already ready as soon as we walked in the room to, book another place and get the hell out of here. But I'm gonna try to keep an open mind, and let you know a little bit more about my stay, let you know about my past stays here, because as I said, I have stayed here a couple times before, so we'll let you know about some of my past stays. I even put my feathers on for you guys today too. I couldn't find pink ones, but I got the blue ones, so blue flamingos. Anyways, whatever. So anyway, we are gonna let you know final thoughts. Stay tuned. Yeah. Okay, so day one is in the books. I have to say, didn't sleep too bad. Kind of woke up thinking maybe I was being a little bit harsh, very, very harsh.
Very, very harsh.
Nice to meet you, Kelly.
Very harsh.
About, our experience with the Flamingo. But then the hot water situation happened today. So, we tried to shower, and even we found yesterday when we were trying to have a shower, it took a while for the water to heat up, but it did eventually heat up and it was fine. And, you had to sort of play with it a little bit, but then you got there.
That's what she said.
Tried this morning, and no hot water, just very lukewarm, nothing you want to have a shower in, something that you maybe want to swim in kind of thing. So yeah, it was very uncomfortable. And we left the water running for a while, hoping it would heat up, and it didn't. We did call down to see if something was going on, because I have heard stories of people here having that problem. I've never really had that problem in Vegas before. I had it in Atlantic City, but anyway, called down. The first thing she asked was if we let it run for 10 minutes or longer. And I'm sorry, but if that's what you got to do to make the shower work, that's a lot of water being wasted. So, probably not the best. You should probably look into that. So they are going to look into it to check the boiler, I think, and send somebody up for maintenance to check it out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit better today after having a decent night's sleep, having some need, etc. But even right now, as I'm speaking, I can see a bug crawling on the wall and some stains just above me on the wall as well. So I am still disappointed. I will say that I am still disappointed in the whole experience, but I'm gonna try and put a positive spin on it. Gonna try and just enjoy ourselves. Like I said, we are in a great location, so gonna try and just go with it. I did forget to mention at the beginning of the video, there are a lot of conferences going on. One of them being apparently Google. So that's, I think, why it's such a busy weekend. There's so much going on the strip. So that's probably a big reason why you know, things are a little bit limited. This is not somewhere we normally stay, but some of the other rooms were sort of outrageous. We do typically come here on comps. Some that was partially comp, we did do some upgrades. We are going to another hotel. We're gonna be doing another couple room tours for you this trip, which are comped, fortunately. So anyway, yeah, so just stay tuned. I'm gonna give you sort of a rundown of everything at the end, and yeah, thank you for being patient and watching thus far. See you soon. All right, so we came down to the formerly food court. Now it's a food hall because that's what they rebrand everything at now. I just got a coffee from Bonano's. For some reason, this coffee, I just absolutely love it. It's like my favorite coffee ever. I think they use some kind of a syrup instead of coffee beans, but it's so good. Cody got a breakfast. I was gonna get something, but honestly, I'm trying to make it a rule for myself to not overeat this trip, and we are gonna get lunch sort of soon, like a late breakfast, early lunch. Cody got 2 of these as well, which were $7 a piece. Even his breakfast, like his bill came to like $34. Oh my god, even this coffee, which is just like a basic coffee, was like almost $5. And it's nothing, you know, it's not like a Starbucks or anything like that, which, anyway. Definitely prices have gone up in here. This used to be a place that you used to, you know, be able to grab a quick, you know, breakfast sandwich and a coffee for like $5-10. Like, it was really inexpensive, convenient, everything. It's definitely increased quite a bit. Even the vibe in here, it used to be all pinks and bright and stuff. Now it just looks very generic, very, you know, like beiges and browns and stuff like that. I don't know. Changed for quite a bit. Not overly thrilled. Anyway, we're gonna finish up our stuff and yeah, report later, I guess. Good morning. Day 3 from this little guy. So yesterday I did forget to mention that we did actually end up getting one of the maintenance guys coming to the room to check the water and everything. Apparently this is an ongoing issue that they have here. He was explaining that especially this tower, we're in like the spa tower, I guess you could call it, where the spa area is. Anyway, apparently this happens a lot with the hot water. He said he had to go to a number of rooms afterwards to check. So very nice guy. Ended up checking the water, everything was fine in the end. I think it maybe was just because a lot of people were probably up early, maybe going to the conferences, and they're all showering and using water at the same time. So it seems to be probably what the issue was. But anyway, I haven't checked the water yet, but it did seem like last night when I showered, everything was okay. So we'll see. But yeah, just learning experience. All right, so we had a little bit of a pool day, nothing too fancy. I gotta say, I wasn't loving the pool. Checked the first pool out, which was the Go pool, which is more of their like party pool, I guess you could say. There was nowhere to sit. We weren't even that late to get down there, but there was just nowhere to sit. So anyway, we ended up going over to like the family area, the resort pool, or whatever they call it. There were places to sit there, but pool was way smaller. I will also say that the food and drink prices were really high, surprisingly, especially considering this is supposed to be one of the more like budget-friendly type hotels. So I was a little bit surprised, but anyway. I did forget to mention as well, there will be a separate video talking about, you know, everything to do with the pool. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. I'll be kind of comparing the family or resort or whatever they call it to the Go room. Also, make sure if you are here to get some Antien's pretzels. That's what we just did before coming back to the room, and they're delicious. So yeah. We did actually go to the diamond check-in area just to let them know that, you know, we weren't loving our room. We paid for an upgrade. We're not, you know, digging everything we've got. They were nice enough to waive one of our upgrade fees, which was nice of them for the one night at least. But they did offer to move us to another room, but it would have been the same room basically, just with a different view. So like the sphere view or, you know, a garden view. So honestly, for the egg it takes to pack up your room and move, I just thought it's not worth it. But at least they did try to do something. I gotta give them credit for that. One thing I will also say that they do really well here, we've been out of the room for not even that long, an hour and a half, I would say, and they've already cleaned our room and, you know, made the beds up, you know, done the towels, done things and that. So the housekeeping here is pretty quick. I do have to give credit. Yesterday we did call in for housekeeping. Today we didn't because we thought we'll go to the pool and then we'll just, you know, we'll call for housekeeping after that. But no, they've already done the room and no complaints there. It's very quick here, so kudos to them for that. Yeah, otherwise we're gonna see, maybe do some more touring around the strip. Again, stay tuned. We'll give you my final thoughts at the very end of this video. So yeah, talk to you then. All right, guys. So We are getting ready to check out of the Flamingo. This is sort of, what, day 4 for us now, or day 5? I forget, I'm losing track already. But, you know, I think for the most part, this is usually the time I give you guys my final thoughts. For the most part, I feel like I've kind of kept you sort of up to date as to, you know, what we've been feeling, what we've been thinking throughout. So I guess this is going to be kind of like a quick review, and then if I forgot anything, this is where I'm probably going to end up just throwing it in. So to take it, I guess, from the very top, when we first booked this, it was maybe a couple months ago. We usually get pretty good comps in Vegas, especially when we combine our offers, which, you know, you are able to do at Caesars. So Cody and I can usually combine, you know, both of our rewards numbers and usually get something pretty good. Like, you know, Flamingo we can usually get for free, etc. But this week, unfortunately, for a lot of the Caesars properties, and a lot of the properties in general in Vegas, there were a lot of higher prices. We didn't know exactly why. We assumed there was some kind of a conference. It turns out, I think, like, Google was here. There was some like fire and security thing here. There was some UFC fights. So it just seemed like kind of luck was kind of against us. And unfortunately, there was just a lot of stuff going on. So we did actually end up paying for some of the nights here. Some were comped. I mean, that's fine. That's how Vegas goes. You know, it's luck of the draw. Yeah, you can come here and it can be completely quiet, or you can come here and everything happens to be going on and you're going to pay higher fees, and that's just the way it is. We did end up choosing, because if we had picked like a, you know, a very basic room here, we wouldn't have really had to pay much at all. But then we did decide to get something a little bit better. One of the go rooms, I think they're called, or not fat. Anyway, whatever, the ones that have like all the pink stuff. I know these are somewhat older rooms, but then when I saw they did have newer rooms, I think they're called the Flamingo rooms, the new ones. But in the pictures, it showed that the view was of, you know, the garden, which I thought, I don't really want that. I want to see the strip. So I noticed that the older room style had a view of the strip in the picture. So I thought, okay, well, if that's the case, then, you know, I'll just pick that one. And yeah, okay, I understand we're in an older room, but at least I have a better view, etc. It turned out when we went to check in that was not the case. So now to get into the check-in process. At the time, we didn't realize that our status for Caesars had flipped back to Diamond. So we did just check into the regular line. Spoke to somebody who, she was very nice and everything, but then she did say that because we were there 15 minutes early, that we would have to pay $10 to check in early. So I said to Cody, I'm like, well, let's get back in line. Like, that's silly. It's 10, you know, for what? And he's like, it's $10, who cares? But I think on principle, it's like, it's 15 minutes, who cares? Just check us in. We did ask if there were any upgrades available, and, you know, right away she did say nothing complimentary, because she says that, you know, they really do watch us here. So I don't know if that's a Caesars thing, because I've never really experienced that before, where they're, you know, that strict about that kind of thing. But anyway, just something that we did experience. She did tell us that the room we did have booked did not have a strip view. It had a garden view, which I didn't really want. So she did mention there were some, you know, upgrades we could do. We'd have to pay, but she could see if she could give us a bit of a better deal. So she gave us a few options. Some of them were, you know, in the hundreds. Some of them were lower than that. She says this is one of her favorite rooms, so we kind of just were like, okay, let's, you know, take a gamble. And I think it was an extra, I want to say around $45 a night, which in the grand scheme of things, was it worth it? I'll get into that in a second. So this is the Neapolitan Suite. We are in the spa tower, so I'm sort of like directly across from like the horseshoe. Yeah, I can see sort of Flamingo Road or whatever it is there. So that's just to give you an idea of where we're situated to. I'm sort of looking down on the Cromwell right now. So that's sort of what my view, I mean, I showed you my view in the beginning. Like I can see, you know, Paris, I can see Cosmo, I can see a bit of the Bellagio, but I can only see the fountains when they get, you know, really high kind of thing, right? So, I mean, it's not the best view. And I mean, Flamingo is a smaller hotel on the Strip, which has its advantages and disadvantages. I will say, you know, right as we walked into the room, maybe I was judging it a little harshly. I did find myself getting more comfortable the longer we were in here, but that said, I mean, there is a lot of wear and tear. Like, I understand that this is a budget hotel. Like, I get it. This is not, you know, the Cosmopolitan. This is not the Palazzo. This is not the Wynn. And I understand that. And I'm glad that there are hotels like this on the Strip, because it's nice that, you know, Vegas can be for everybody. You know, you don't need to be, you know, making, well, I mean, now maybe it's a little bit different because things are quite expensive here, but it shouldn't have to be that way. It should be that there are places like, you know, the Flamingo, like Excalibur, like the Deluxe, etc., that maybe are a little more budget friendly, which gives sort of everybody an opportunity to come to Vegas, you know, no matter what your walk of life is. That said, a budget hotel should not also feel like run down. You know, like I said in the beginning, there are marks everywhere. There's,
wear and tear all over this room. And I mean, I understand it's these upgrades that they did in these particular suites got to be at least 10 years, probably more than that. But I still think that maintenance is an issue. Like, I mean, right as you walk in, there was some like water damage on the ceiling there. There's, like I said, there's just marks everywhere. And I understand maintenance may not be aware of all of the issues, but even if maybe when they come in, do your, housekeeping, maybe the person who does housekeeping should come in with a clipboard and, make a couple notes and say, oh yeah, there's this, submit it to the maintenance team when there's time. Maybe they go through rooms when they can, touch up the paint a little bit, fix the sort of chips here and there. You don't need to go all out and go crazy and buy all new furniture, but just sort of maintain what you've got a little bit better, I would say. I guess all in all, it just didn't feel like an upgrade. Even though, we paid for an upgrade, it definitely didn't really feel like one. I think that's why I was sort of a little frustrated and a little disappointed. And I mean, I still kind of am, but hey, it's again, luck of the draw in Vegas. We did go downstairs, as I mentioned, to the Diamond check-in area and did just explain, our situation to see if there's anything better available. They did mention they could move us, but honestly, at that point, we were probably gonna end up in a similar, if not the same type of room, maybe a different view, and I'm sure it probably would have been the same situation where there's probably just wear and tear everywhere, unless you're getting sort of maybe one of the newer upgraded rooms, which I would definitely suggest if you are gonna be booking the Flamingo, try and get. I think they are called the Flamingo rooms. You'll know by the pictures, it looks like they have like a darker carpet, etc. Speaking of the housekeeping though, I do have to say the housekeeping here has been on point. Like, we had literally, popped down to the pool for a short amount of time, or gone to get a coffee or something like that, and then come up and the room's been made up, new towels, the bed's been made, everything, like, surprisingly fast. I really have to say I've been really impressed. Maybe it is because it is a smaller hotel, it's easier for them to get to all the rooms, but yeah, that's one thing I have to give Flamingo big kudos for. They definitely are really good with housekeeping. Another thing that I think, like I said, could be an advantage or disadvantage is that the size of the Flamingo in general. Like, it's not a bigger property. For example, we snuck over to MGM Grand for a night to do, initially just to do a room tour, and then we ended up falling in love with the room, so we ended up sleeping there for a night. So we actually only slept in this room for 3 nights and left it vacant for 1 night. That place is huge. So I mean, you go down from the elevator to, first of all, the hallway to get to our room was enormous. Took me almost 2 minutes to get to from the elevator to the room. Then when you're in the casino, to get out of the casino, you're walking and walking and walking. Like, it's huge. What I do kind of like about the Flamingo is that, you pop down to the elevator, which, the elevators here have been pretty good. We usually haven't had to wait too long for them. And you pretty much just walk right out and you are, outside or whatever. So I did appreciate that. It is nice, especially when you've been walking up and down the strip all day. It's convenient just to be able to walk right outside and, you're there. Restaurant options, you do have quite a few options as well. You've got like, higher end stuff like Bugsy and Myers if you're looking for like a steakhouse. There is a speakeasy here, but they advertise it everywhere and literally have, tell you where it is and everything. So not really a speakeasy, but at least they're, trying to do something a bit different. At the time of recording this, they were closing a few things as well. So Bird Bar has closed. Margaritaville, if it didn't close yesterday, it's closing today, kind of thing. Like, Margaritaville will be closed by the time you see this video. And they are making way for some new stuff. There's gonna be Pinky's by Lisa Vanderpump, and I believe Gordon Ramsay's gonna have a restaurant coming in here as well, because that's what the strip needed. Some more Gordon Ramsay's and some more Vanderpump. But again, it does seem like at least they are trying to kind of give the Flamingo like a little bit of a facelift. I do think that they should really start with the rooms as well, though. Like, they definitely need them. There is a little food hall, which is basically just a food court with Auntie Anne's and Bono's and whatnot. We did go in there a couple times just to grab something quick. I did find the prices have gone up significantly since when I used to go in there, but again, Vegas, I mean, like, I just bought like a regular coffee from Bono's. I think it was like $5, and I mean, it wasn't anything special. It was just a plain coffee. And I did think that was a little bit on the high side, but again, Vegas prices. That said, considering this is one of the more budget-friendly places, I do feel like it should have been maybe a little bit cheaper. Same with the pool. We went down to the pool for the one day. Definitely get there early. There will be a separate video about the pool, so make sure you watch that one as well. But yeah, get there early. Prices by the pool were crazy. You're looking at like around $40 for a cocktail or something like that, which is a little bit crazy, especially like I said, being in a more budget-friendly hotel. Another plus though for this place is definitely the location. I think that's why a lot of people will book the Flamingo. You are what is sort of considered center strip. I mean, you got the Caesar's Palace across the street. You got Bellagio sort of kitty kitty corner to you as well. Like, you are in a great location that you can just walk outside, you're on the strip, you can go up and down, you know, do whatever you need to do. You have the monorail, if, you know, attached as well if you want to take the monorail. It's just, yeah, location is, you know, pretty much 10 out of 10. And like I said, the fact that you are, you know, in a smaller casino, you can just walk right out. In terms of shows, there's some great shows here too. We've seen RuPaul's Drag Race live here a couple times. You got Piff the Magic Dragon, you got Wayne Newton, you've got like a burlesque show, I forget what it's called, X or something like that. So there's a few different shows going on here. So there's always something, you know, something to see, something to do, which is always nice as well. You've also like right next door to the link, so there's tons of food options, tons of things to do, you know, you can go on the high roller, etc. So again, location is good. Now, is the spot right for you? Honestly, you know, just thinking about it, I could see this being a great place if you do have mobility issues as well. I do get asked that sometimes on my channel, you know, like, where would you say I should stay if I don't want to do a lot of walking, etc. I actually think this is probably a good place for that, you know, because of the fact that it is a smaller property, because you can get to the strip, you know, without having to go, you know, miles and miles through a casino. You know, there's stuff all around, you know, in terms of restaurants and things to do. So, you know, you have the monorail, you've got, you know, the Uber is easy to get to. So, you know, things like that. I'd say, yeah, if you have mobility issues, this is probably a very good property for you to stay in. This is also probably, you know, good property if you are, you know, conscious of your budget, you know, with that asterisk that there are still some expensive things here, you know, certain food and, you know, beverages and things like that. But I would say it does tend to be one of the more budget friendly properties. But, you know, I don't really want to get into price now, just because it is so dynamic depending on when you're coming, what day of the week, what week of the month, what month of the year, etc. Is there a conference going on? Is there a UFC fight? Is there whatever? So it's really subjective. It's really hard to talk about price in a situation like this, but it does tend to be more budget friendly. I'd say it's a very just mixed use property. I mean, you have young and old here. You've got just a very mixed group of people in here. I think it's Flamingo's iconic. I mean, I think that, you know, despite the things I may not love about this property, I still do love the Flamingo. You know, I stayed here a couple times, you know, in my you know, early 20s, when I was just coming with my friends, and, you know, we're trying to just kind of keep, you know, things on the low, you know, in terms of like, you know, for budget and stuff purposes. But and it just, again, it's iconic. I mean, it's, you know, one of the originals in Las Vegas. Of course, this building is not the original, but, you know, I remember even my grandparents when I was a little kid telling me they were going to Vegas and, you know, bringing me back stuff from the Flamingo, and it just being such an iconic place that, you know, I think when people think of Vegas, they think of the Flamingo, you know, and like, you know, you think of any Vegas pictures or things like that you see, there's always like a flamingo in the picture, you know, which doesn't really make sense, but it does, because people associate Las Vegas with the Flamingo. And will I say here again, honestly, I'm a never say never type of guy, because you really just don't know, you know, what the future has in store. If I'm coming here with my friends, you know, yeah, if we wanted to try and keep things, you know, budget friendly, and maybe we're just, you know, wanted to hang around the middle of the strip more so, then yeah, it's a good spot to do that. If it meant, you know, not coming to Vegas versus coming to Vegas and staying in the Flamingo, yeah, I would, you know, stay in the Flamingo and come to Vegas. I mean, you don't have to just stay on, you know, on campus. Obviously, you can go kind of all around the strip, but I mean, like I said, there are plenty of things to do. There's, you know, obviously a lot of people that, you know, love this hotel, and, you know, there's a lot of people who, you know, this appeals to, you know, what they're looking for. It wasn't exactly what I was hoping it would be, but I also do understand where I was staying, and, you know, I was aware that, yes, you know, you're going to Flamingo, that's, you know, what it's all about. Anyway, we do have to get going. We are checking into another hotel, so if I have missed anything, you know, please be sure to leave, you know, any of your questions below. I'm more than happy to answer them. It's really helpful for other travelers, because, you know, they probably have the same questions that you guys do. It's also really helpful for me, because any interaction you guys have with my videos, whether you're liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, etc., it all helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you're not currently subscribed, I'd really appreciate if you consider subscribing. There's a button down the corner there. Just hit that. It's totally free for you, and really helps me keep delivering this free content to you. Anyway, we do have to get going. Viva Las Vegas. It's been Daniel Spotlight, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.